a neighbor when we were looking into buying a house, and we going through the whole process of financing and all that. He suggested to do a interest only loan, which turned out to be, at least at the time, not a good idea, because we literally just were paying interest, and then we had to refinance again. So that was basically money thrown down the drain.
Audra, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. Thank you so much for allowing us to interview you today and for your support to the Moneymalistic channel.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. So let's get started. How old are you?
Do you really want to know? 53.
53 years of experience then. That's all we can say. So where are you from originally?
I was actually born in San Luis Potosí, Mexico.
Excellent. So what do you do for a living?
I'm an account manager.
How long have you been doing that for?
Well, between the two companies that I've worked for, about 20 plus years.
So now, when you mentioned that you're an account manager, what is it that you do?
So I basically it's working with the customer base. So to give you an idea, and I was working with my previous job. My major accounts were specifically major hospitals, TMC, Banner, Carondelet. So it's managing those accounts, major accounts, and the services that we provide, or that we were providing back then. So with this current company, I do the same thing. I have a client base. It's maintaining those customers, making sure that we're delivering the services, and pretty much that's my role.
What is the most challenging thing about your job?
Well, right now I'm doing I'm helping out with the sales part. So I'm not specifically, I don't think I was born to do sales, but I'm actually learning the whole process and to be patient. So I think the challenging piece is being patient.
What is one thing that you truly enjoy about your job?
I enjoy when the customers, or our partners, we call them partners, you get that sense of gratification because you were able to solve a problem. And they're like, oh, thank you very much, because we were completely down, or we had a whole bunch of issues. You solved our problems, and we're very grateful. So that sense of gratification that you were able to help your customers.
What social class were you growing up?
I would say middle class.
Were there any challenges growing up as a middle class?
Yeah, going back to when I was like between 8 and 11. So sometimes as kids you want to have all the toys, the bigger toys, the best toys, and we were not in a position to have all that at the time. So I would say that in my case. But as far as having the necessities, the things that you need, as far as food and house and everything else, we were fortunate to have that.
Excellent. Would your family talk about money in general?
Not necessarily, but like again, me specifically, I would always question why we can't have this or why we can't have that. So maybe a little bit unfair to a certain extent towards my family, but that was kind of the extent of the money conversation, if you will.
What about like budgeting or like investing?
Yeah, so my dad, well, like anybody else, used to give us an allowance. So he would always tell us, you have to learn how to save for your money. You have to how to manage your money well. Don't just throw your money away. Make wise decisions. And so that was what we would is his main advice.
And do you recall your first interaction with money?
Yeah, going back again, when I was young, I would get $1 a week.
Oh man!
And, that was back in the late 70s, mid 70s. So $1 was not too bad back then.
What were you buying with that as a kid?
Well, again, just back then when you're a kid, 9, 10 years old, you want to have the toys that you want. So I would save enough. Sometimes it would take like a couple of months to save enough to buy that specific toy. I think you and I were talking about Kiss. I remember buying the Kiss doll. Like they were this big, and It was to me, it was the best back then. I had Ace Frehley, my brother had Paul, and then Gene Simmons. So yeah,
You guys had them all then.
yeah, we had all four.
Do you still have them?
Oh no, I wish I did.
Oh man, that would be worth a
Yeah, they were probably worth thousands maybe. Yeah,
lot. You can always dig in those boxes, you know.
exactly.
Excellent. So, what is the best financial advice you have ever received, and who gave you that advice?
I would say my dad. Again, going back to when he started giving us the allowances, he would say, just this is your money. You can do whatever you want with the money. However, learn how to save. It's always important to save money. So in case of an emergency, in case of something, you can always have that little cushion, if you will. And then always also manage your money well. So my dad was the has given us that good advice, and he's a role model with regards to that.
Great. So now on the other side of the spectrum, what is the worst financial advice that you have ever received, and who gave you that advice?
A neighbor, when we were looking into buying a house, we going through the whole process of financing and all that, he suggested to do a interest only loan, which turned out to be, at least at the time, not a good idea, because we literally just were paying interest and then we had to refinance again. So that was basically money thrown down the drain.
Wow.
In my view.
Do you recall what was the amount that the loan was for?
I don't remember the specifics, but it could have been like back then, maybe like $1,400 a month.
Oh, okay, $1,400 a month then.
Yeah. Well, you still have the escrow, right? You still have to pay your insurance. You have to pay the taxes, and then everything else was just basically interest.
So you were only paying then just the interest, and then the overall account was remaining at the same balance.
Correct.
There's accruing interest. So then at the end of the day, you're pretty much just like paying interest over interest over interest. It's kind of like never ending, or?
Yeah, I don't remember the specifics of the loan because, again, that was like almost 16 years ago. But I know that it to me, it just didn't make sense to be under that type of structure. So I'd refinance. But by doing that, basically all that just went down the drain, really.
At the same time, before we had this interview, you mentioned that one of the worst financial advice you've ever received were indirectly by a family member that you saw him.
Oh yeah, you're right. So this is a family member would basically all his money would go towards buying just all his wants, and so one of the things that I also learned was when you're going to buy something, is it a need or is it a want? And sometimes we tend to buy wants instead of needs. In this case, he was basically focusing more on his wants. So literally every time he would get a paycheck, he would just buy, just spend it and not save it.
Was he always like struggling, like making ends meet, and like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to be able to pay this off? Or
yeah, because he had a lot of material stuff, but he did not have that, the savings to fall back on. Again, going back to the little cushion. And so yeah, there were times where he needed money and always find himself borrowing or not having enough to cover certain things.
Wow. Was this like a long time ago, like 20 plus years?
Yeah, I would say about 20 years.
How about now, fast forwarding to today? Is he still under that same situation, or is he better?
I think he's still, I don't want to say living on a paycheck to paycheck, but I would say so. And not necessarily struggling, but not a person who likes to have a future or have something secure, if you will.
What is the best financial decision that you have ever made?
I would say real estate, buying a house. Although the way we financed the house initially was not the right one, but buying the house for sure.
Do you recall how much you paid for it?
It's 200 and 280, 180,000.
So then you bought your house at a time that the market was very, very high. And then you actually guys who lived through the recession of 2008.
Mm-hmm.
Was there any impact during that recession?
No, I think that so we bought it right before you're right, but my thought process was that, we're just going to ride the storm. We're not going to just, sell and run. We're going to ride the storm. And it was a good decision because, we were able to keep the house. And now obviously the house is probably worth 380.
I'm curious, since you're an account manager and you went through, I mean, it is expected, to have a cycle within the economy, right? We're going to have our ups and downs. What was your situation on that time during the 2008, where you probably had, your clients, probably like everything was going down? What were you advising, or like, how was that reaction from them?
Just like any other business, they were forced to downsize, and even our company, we experienced a lot of downsizing, and again, as an account manager, I had people under me, so I had to in some cases lay off people, which is the hardest thing you can do as a manager. Our customers were adjusting; they were telling us, we have to cut down on the services that you're providing. We need to look at the contracts and pricing, and so yes, so you're right. To answer your question, yes, we had to work with them to recontract, readjust the services that we were providing at the time.
What is your worst financial decision that you have ever made? And I know that you mentioned your loan interest only, but besides that one, is there any other purchase that you've done that you regret in a way?
I remember buying my first car that was a used car. So obviously at the time I was buying a car within my means, but I think I bought a car a little bit more expensive, and also it was a used car, so it was a used sports car that maybe perhaps the best thing would have been to purchase either a newer car that didn't have a lot of trouble, a lot of issues, because I ended up spending more money trying to get it fixed. It was always in the shop. And so I would say that buying my first car that was not in good condition.
So you bought your car, and then it was always like breaking down?
Correct.
Wow. How much did you pay for the car?
I think at the time it was like either 12,000 back then, 12,000, 14,000.
Wow. So it was a really good car. I mean, looking at inflation back then, so.
Yeah. This was like 99, like around 1990.
And how much did you have to pay to fix it?
So every time we would break, a combination of 400 here, 500 there, and sometimes 1,000 here, 1,000 there.
If you had to add them all up, what is like the average?
I probably end up spending like $5,000 in keeping it up and running.
So kind of like almost half, like a third of the overall price.
Yeah, and then so I just completely got so tired of having to fix it all the time. So I just say, you know what, I'm going to go just buy a new car and trade it in. And guess what? All that money just, again, went down the drain.
So how would you describe your relationship with money?
I would say money to me, it's a compliment to at least to my balance in life. But to me, the balance in life, consists of health, family, friends, your own personal life.
And are you comfortable with your current financial situation?
I would say so.
I really want to touch on, before the interview, you mentioned that if you had a lot of money, what would you do with it? Because I did ask you, like, hey, would you like go and buy?
Yeah, so if I had, if I had the money, or if I was rich, or just the means, one of the things that I would like to do, or that I would do, would be to help the needy, the people that need it, whether it's here or in Mexico, or because there's a lot of poverty out there, and it's I wish I can do more, and I wish people could do more, should do more.
Definitely. I mean, I really want to touch on that because it really touched me when you told me about it. I'm like, oh wow, usually people are like, oh, if I had more money, I would buy a bigger house. And you're like, no, I would like to help. Probably going back to, where I was from, I would probably help people there. So great answer. If you could go back in time and change one financial decision, which one would it be and why?
Yeah, maybe do a better job of saving. Although I have my savings, like savings, 401k and investments and things like that, but just maybe a little bit more.
All right, we're going to go over our first section called Would You Rather. So,
What's it called again?
Would you rather?
Would you rather do this?
Or that, yeah. So with that container, you're going to be pulling 5 numbers. And once you're done, you can just toss it to the side. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
Ready.
Are you ready? Okay, the first one is number 4.
Would you rather have a job that you hate with a really high salary or have a job that you love with a below minimum wage?
I would say have a job that I like, that I enjoy, even though I'm not making a lot of money.
Great. Let's go over the second one, though.
23.
Would you rather use a credit card or a debit card for everyday purchases?
Everyday purchases will be a credit card.
All right, let's go over the third one. Would you rather work from home while a rock band is playing in your garage for your whole shift or work at the office where you cannot leave your desk other than to eat or use a restroom, but your boss is super nice?
Oh, number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I get to work from home. I'm fortunate that I get to work from home at least three days out of the week, and it's really nice to be able to do things, to have that freedom, because at the end of the day you're still productive, and it also gives you that discipline that you're responsible for your job, for your role, your activities, but you also get a chance to while you're working, you're cooking and doing different things.
Plus, at the same time,
you're having the rock band,
and you used to have your own band too.
Yeah, and if it was a Metallica playing, that's even better.
or Kiss too.
Oh, Kiss, yeah.
All right, let's go with the fourth one.
21.
Would you rather receive your whole pay for the entire year at once or get paid bi-weekly?
Bi-weekly.
What would happen if someone were like, okay, Marco, here's your entire check for the entire year?
Well, like if I had no choice and I'm getting that money, it's a lump sum, then yeah, I would be forced to, well, not forced, but then I have to manage it. So I'm managing that money, and then you have that temptation too. Is like, oh, there's X dollars there that I can just grab it and buy it. You never know, buy something crazy, and which again, going back to the needs and wants, it might not be a need. So if I'm getting it bi-weekly, then I'm not only managing that money, but I'm being responsible at the same time.
All right, great answer. Let's go with the last one. Would you rather loan money to your parents but not get the money back, or lend the money to a stranger and get your money back times 2?
For sure, lend the money to my parents.
Now we're going to go into our second section called What Do You Think? It is the same process. However, this one is more about opinions and thoughts on money. So whenever you're ready.
Number 1.
Are credit cards good or bad?
Credit cards are good. Gives you the ability to be able to purchase things that you need, purchase things quickly. But they're also bad because there are people that don't have the that control and don't have the sense of responsibility to manage it well, and they get into debt pretty easy. So it's could be a good and bad. Right. But I think it's more good because again it gives you that flexibility, that ability to buy things quickly.
All right, let's go with the second one.
11.
What are the top 3 financial goals that everyone should have?
Obviously, have a job that gives you the financial stability. Invest and save.
All right, let's go with the third one.
Number 6.
How much does our credit score impact our financial opportunities?
It shows the type of person you are, from again going back to being responsible and being able to demonstrate your ability to manage your money.
All right, let's go with the fourth one. At one point in time, should everyone start thinking about retirement?
I actually started thinking of retirement when I was like in my mid 30s, like low 40s. But I don't think it's never too early.
With your current financial situation, at what age do you think that you will be able to retire?
Maybe around 60.
Wow,
So in another 7 years, or maybe even earlier, depending. So I was fortunate enough that so I'll be getting a pension from my previous company. I spent there 27 years. That combined with the some of the investments, combined with the 401k, the savings. So yeah, my plan, if I can retire earlier, for sure. But just to be comfortable, I would probably say like 60 or maybe sooner.
All right, let's go with the last one then.
17.
Is it good or bad to buy things with a 0% interest for a specific time period, such as 12 or 24 months?
I think it's good. I actually, we've done that several times. And again, it goes back to the circumstance. So sometimes you're like, you know what? I have the money, but I would rather have that money still in the bank. And it's only going to be for 12 months, 24 months at zero interest. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I think it's a good thing. And I think it's a good thing that the companies or stores offer it.
It definitely makes it easy.
It gives you that freedom, the flexibility for sure.
Excellent. Now, is there anything else that you would like to share with the audience? Do you have any final thoughts?
Make sure keep your focus on a balance in life. To me, it's important. I like to promote that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much too.
Guys, thank you so much for watching. Please support the channel by subscribing, commenting, and liking the video. The question of the day is the following. Let me know your opinions, thoughts, comments, and constructive criticism in the comment section, and I will see you guys on the next video.